Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I'm your host, Jim. This is an episode with a guest, and what we like to do is turn on the video recording when we do that. So today you're going to meet Thaddeus and Heidi Fefler. They're coaching students with the Jim Cockrum coaching program who are seeing a lot of success. They've been doing this about 10 months, and their business is growing month over month. They're really doing a tremendous job with our replens model, which is the model that we teach to most of our new students around here, the vast majority, especially if you've never had experience succeeding selling products online. You're going to want to get into our replens model. That's where hundreds of recent success stories are being generated in our community. And today, Heidi and Thaddeus are our most recent two success stories. They're excited to share with you. They tell us a little bit about their special needs son and some of the trips they've had to make, the long car trips to hospitals. But along the way, they're making money. And even while they're at the hospital for a couple of weeks, they're putting money in the bank, finding products in the free time that they have in the spare time in the evenings, doing an incredible work, growing their business, taking care of that special kid they've got, and just a real blessing to listen to these guys, man. They've got a great heart. I think you're really going to enjoy their story. They've built a business that's up to, I think they said it was either $26,000 or $28,000 was one of their most recent really good months. They did this in about 10 months. They struggled a little bit at the beginning because they were doing it on their own, and they said they kind of lacked the motivation to push it forwards. That's when they grabbed a coach, and business took off from there. One of our Canadian coaches helped them out, actually. So you're going to hear a lot about their story, their trials, their ups and downs, how they find successful product. They even have a great tip for speeding up how you package your products and send them into Amazon, and make sure that Amazon's more accurately checking in your inventory too. So that's a very practical tip towards the end of the episode today. You're going to want to listen to the whole thing. These guys are awesome. So as always, go to silentjim.com and get the show notes for every episode, any links that we talk about or resources we talk about. It's all there. And you will also want to be sure to sign up for a alert notification on your smartphone every time we have a new episode. We like to send out a little alert and let you know that there's a new episode. So if you want that, you can go straight to silentjim.com/updates, and you'll get kind of like a text alert. It's from the Telegram app. It's a free app. I think you'll love it. If you don't love it, just delete it. But I think you're really going to like getting those little alerts each time we have a great new episode like this one. So with that introduction, let's jump right over and get today's guests on the line. You're going to really like these guys. So Thaddeus and Heidi, welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Hi.
It's great to be here.
It's great to have you guys here.
It's a great honor. It was actually one of our goals to once be on this podcast when we started about 10 months now. So didn't think we'd be here this quick. So yeah, we're super excited to be here.
Well, here you are. This is awesome. I love it. I love hearing that was a goal. I hope this propels your business forward somehow as well. Thank you for your time. But let's get right into your story. Like you said 10 months. Like, let's start at the beginning. What were you doing before Amazon?
So I'm a carpenter by trade. I have my license here up in Canada. We're from Canada, by the way, just an hour north of the border, right in central Canada in Manitoba.
Okay.
And I was, doing carpentry. My dad is self-employed, so I'm his only full-time employee. So it's the two of us. Occasionally there's other guys too. So I see how a business is being run. My wife's dad is also self-employed, so we also see that from that side. But ourselves, we've never done anything like this, or anything on our own, actually.
Yeah.
Heidi's been working in a daycare, in a bakery, in
It was just
on production lines. So
on and off.
Yeah,
Odd
no
jobs.
big degrees or anything.
Yeah,
just odd jobs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, my mom actually ran a daycare for a while. I know that gig. I kind of grew up in one there for a while. She was a director of one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you, do you still do some of those things, Heidi, or has Amazon kind of taken over yet?
We got married 5 years ago, and 2017, our son was born, and he was born with a condition. Had a lot of hospital stays. lots of surgeries in Toronto, some locally here. And that pretty much like kept me home. I always thought I might go back, like do something part-time just because I can't sit at home. But the first couple of years, we were just in hospital pretty much every couple of months, at least.
Yeah. And he was good for you guys doing what had to be done to take care of your kiddo. You said he was 4, right?
He's 4 now.
Yeah. He's 4 now. Wow. How's he doing now? I mean, how's his condition now after being through the rough start?
He's had 9 surgeries. He was in the NICU for the first 11 weeks. Had a really rough start.
But he's doing good now.
Yeah, he's doing really good. We're waiting on 1 surgery, but that's down the road. But he's good. He has pain sometimes here and there, but he's pretty strong. Like they are so they're so strong, stronger than we are.
Oh, you learn so much from a kid like that, right? We've got one of our, I say special needs, but that sometimes paints a wrong picture in people's minds. But he's had a lot of challenges. Our little guy, Ty from China, he's had his challenges for sure. But you just learn so much as a parent, and it really does solidify, kind of bringing it back to business. Like this is why we do what we do. Like you're willing to get up 2 hours earlier than you would be comfortably getting up, and you're willing to stay up 3 hours later than you'd be comfortable staying up. Once you add those little ones into your life and that responsibility and the weight of that. And so good job, guys, doing what had to be done. Mom was able to stay home, dad working hard. So you've got that hardworking spirit built in. So you were ready to rock on this Amazon thing when it came out.
We grew up working at home a lot. Our parents made sure we know how to work.
It's actually also my son's fault. I even stumbled across Jim Cockrum and his whole program here.
Really?
Because we were sitting in hospital after a surgery. I was also there. That was locally here in Winnipeg. And I was just scrolling around on Facebook. And I think that was on one of the Dave Ramsey groups. Somebody asked, what's a good side hustle to start? And I'm not sure, but if I remember correctly, it was you personally commenting on there. Listen to my podcast at Silent Sales Machine. I'm like, well, I have time now, so might as well listen to one. So I listened, and that's pretty much where our journey began. That was in March 2020. So I was listening a lot to your podcast, and eventually I told my wife, there's this sale going on right now for $30 a month. We can take this course. Worst case scenario, I lose $30, but at least I know I looked into it.
Yeah.
So she's like,
worst case would be we give you a refund because even that 30 is refunded over there. But hey, can you guys drop the volume on your computer a little bit? It's as long as you can still hear me, but drop it down because there's a little bit of an echo. So the listeners aren't annoyed by that. But I love that. Yeah. So you were in the hospital with your kid and stumbled upon our. That's incredible. I love it. And that was about a year ago, you said, right?
Yeah, in March 2020.
Right. So,
and then I personally listened a lot to your podcast while working. We were still building our own house, the one we live in right now.
It looks beautiful from what I can see, by the way. Good job. Good drywall work from here.
And while doing the work, I was doing siding still. So I was listening to your podcast, and then we went for it. We got the course. I listened to the Amazon 101. I've shopped on Amazon, never sold a thing in my life on Amazon or eBay or anywhere actually, like on the internet. So this was completely new to me. And maybe a month or a month and a half later, I think that was end of May, somebody called me from your team to ask how our business is doing. All I could answer is not really anything. I'm still trying to learn. It's like, well, are you interested in coaching? Well, definitely interested. Let's talk details about it.
Sure.
So we discussed the details. He figured we would be a good fit for coaching, and so did we. So we jumped for it, and we're super glad we did it. It was worth every penny, plus a lot more than that, actually.
Oh, I love to hear that.
We had an awesome coach, Cheryl, from
Toronto,
from Ontario.
We have coaches all over the place now. It's incredible. Good, amazing coaches in Canada and on UK, and it's very international. In many cases, these are people I haven't even got a chance to meet yet. I've kind of conversations with them, but we haven't even had a chance to meet because our organization's growing quickly. But Cheryl's a fantastic success story. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got to meet her in person 2 months after we started coaching, because we had to go
to Toronto
close there for our son's surgery or for a
that's
checkup.
So great. Wow.
And then we contacted her, and we were so glad we could meet up, see each other face to face, and
that
was interesting.
So when coaching got started, how quickly did the lights start to come on? I mean, what was the difference between what you were trying to do before and once coaching started? Like, contrast that for me, if you would. Without coaching and with coaching.
Mm-hmm. Without coaching, we weren't really motivated. I think we needed the coaching for it to push us.
The accountability.
Yeah.
That was a big part for us.
Because we knew we paid money for this. Yeah. And we had to get going. Because it was not money that we just, had laying around.
Right.
So we had to get going. And she pushed us. She always gave us homework pretty much. And said, okay, until the next meeting, you have to have this done. And I think that really pushed us and helped us.
What were some of the assignments that she gave you early on? Do you remember?
I remember the very first assignment was we have to figure out in which categories we're ungated in. Mm-hmm. So we had to go through all the categories and subcategories. So I don't know how many hundred of them there are, but that was our very first assignment to do. And
and then finding 10 replens.
Yeah, and then it was finding 10. It started by finding 10 replens a week. We had our first shipment in beginning of July, and then it got checked in on the 21st, and that was when our first sale was.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So we're just over 10 months now from our first sale.
10 months ago, first sale. About a year ago, you joined our coaching program. Great story. So tell me about some of those first replens that you found. How did you find them? Were you shopping online? Are you guys hitting the stores? What was your strategy?
I was standing in aisles. I was standing in an aisle for a couple hours and then moved on to the next. It was kind of awkward at first.
It is.
But I was doing most of this sourcing in the store. Now I'm switching over to more online because it's a little easier because I do 2 shopping trips too with my son all the time. So, but most of it, we started off just in stores.
Yeah. Now, you say it was awkward, and this is, I remember that stage very well. Now it's, I love sourcing still. Some people, for some reason, are surprised to hear this, but even tonight, I plan on spending 2 or 3 hours out finding new replens because it's just a blast. I envision it as I'm finding new $5, $10, $50 a month income streams for my business so I can keep my team rocking and keep the business moving forward, right? I love doing that part. But you said it was awkward. What makes it, did it stop becoming awkward at some point?
Oh yeah, for sure. Now I approach workers and talk to them. I'm still not that comfortable, but if I see they keep on looking at me and I'm just standing one spot, I go up to them and talk. And now even I have them calling me and telling me, okay, we got this product in, we have a truckload coming in next week.
Right.
So that's nice.
That's right.
It's not anymore.
It feels strange at first, but I was in another store I'd never been in. This was yesterday, picking up one of our hot moving items. And I said, hey, is the manager around? And everyone will tell you, hey, and they think you're going to complain. Every time someone asks for a manager, they're braced for a complaint. And here's someone that's happy. Like, hey, great to meet you. Your store looks really good compared to some others I've seen in the area, by the way. And if you ever have extra product X, Y, or Z, here's my name, write it down. Please give me a call. I'll buy as many of them as you want to sell me. Leave some on the shelf if you want to for your other customers, but or if you can order them for me. And you've got a new relationship and a friendship. There's nothing awkward about it, right? Once you've done it a few times, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
That's great. So tell me about one of the good sellers you found early on. Don't give it away. Excuse me. You don't want to tell everybody how to compete with you.
Actually, very interesting. It's a product that got stopped being produced by the manufacturer. So we can't source it anymore since about 2 months.
Yeah.
We've sold, I don't have the exact numbers. I'm guessing in total $15,000 worth of that product.
50?
It's a little bit more of an expensive.
15. Yeah.
15. Okay.
It's the product itself. Yeah. It's a little bit more expensive.
The product costs us $55 and we're selling it for $130.
Wow. What category is that in?
That was in outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first categories. Yeah. That's one of the first categories. You were probably approved for that when you first started, right?
Yeah.
And we actually found that product, I believe that was in the beginning of August. We tested it. It went so good. So we went and emptied all the stores pretty much in our surrounding. And then we had to go to Toronto, which is a 22-hour drive for us, for our son, to the hospital.
Okay.
So we were there and we actually took our business along. We put the printer in the trunk, took some boxes we bought there, and
packing supplies.
We got most of those products that were available in Toronto and sold them as well.
Yeah.
So the month,
awesome. A tax-deductible trip to the hospital for your son.
Yeah.
I don't know. The taxes work the same in Canada. Like, if it's a business trip, you don't have to pay taxes on the money you spend, right? That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was actually the 2 weeks that we were gone from home. We made more money with the business than the weeks when we were home because of that one product.
That's
it was cost.
Yeah.
So you guys were in the hotel room at night, boxing them up, labeling them, and sending them out to FBA. Did you take them down to the hotel desk, or like logistically, how'd that work?
I don't know. He did. I was in the hospital.
Yeah, she was in the hospital. And we were living on which floor was it? 12th or the 14th floor? So I took out one of their luggage carts, put all the products on there, into the elevator up to our room, prepped and boxed everything, and back to the car, then over to UPS.
That's awesome.
That was very interesting, but it worked fine.
Yeah.
Man, entrepreneurs are just the coolest people. You had to be getting some looks from the hospital staff, like, why is he bringing boxes up and down every day?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to explain to anybody what you were doing, by the way? Like, I'm just curious. I love these kind of stories.
I think I had one conversation in the elevator where a lady it was when I had the boxes going back to the car, when everything was prepped with the label stickers, and she's like, "Whoa, you're sending a lot of stuff." Well, it's all business related.
Yeah.
We're selling on Amazon, and it always sparks interesting conversations.
For sure.
People are always interested. Wow, you guys sell on Amazon? How does that work?
How can you make money?
Yeah.
Yeah. Send them to our podcast, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you can get an affiliate link and refer people to us and get paid to do that too. So
yeah, I recently requested the affiliate link. I'm not quite through with the process yet.
Yeah. So, we'll get you guys signed up. Anyone, that's something we love. Yeah. We love rewarding you for sending people our way. That's awesome. Well, I love it sounds like you guys have a tenacious, adventurous spirit about this whole thing. Like, you're going to do what it takes. Let's get into the numbers a little bit. I want to hear how it's going. Are you still working for and with your dad? Or is you taking that, right? So you're doing both?
More than full time. We're working overtime almost every day.
Yeah.
So the business is mostly my wife's. Anyway, the physical work anyways.
Yeah. He does the office stuff, paperwork. And I do shopping trips twice a week, and then a month ago, I think my sister started packing for us.
Awesome.
Just like a summer job thing.
Yeah.
Because it was just getting too much. I couldn't source enough by the next time I had to go shopping.
Right.
So yeah, we got her to start packing for us, and it took a load off for sure.
So you're still actively finding replens, I take it?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some of your numbers there. Like what's your goal per week? You still have that 10 per week goal that Cheryl gave you when you started coaching, or what's your typical week look like?
It's on and off. Sometimes I go into a store and I find 10 on the spot. And sometimes it'll if we have to restock a lot and the money is a little short, then that week we don't send in a lot of new items.
But we
try to at least have 10. Pardon me?
You don't grab as many the weeks that you're a little short on cash, right? You can't. But I love it's a business where your what's the bottleneck is how much cash can you get your hands on, because the profitable products are everywhere, right? It's a beautiful model. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not investing.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And we're not investing any more personal cash into the business. We're just reinvesting the profits.
Right.
So we haven't taken out any profits so far. So that's why the curve is going, well, it's shooting for the stars, honestly. So
yeah, you got a nice hockey stick going here, it sounds like, right?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful. If I'm talking to Canadians, so you guys know the hockey stick. I actually, my one trip to Toronto, I actually used to work for a company there, and it was the National Museum for professional hockey there in Toronto. I got to visit that, and I tried to swing a hockey stick and hit a puck, and it just looked like it was such an easy thing to do when I've watched hockey. I've never done it before in my life. Man, I about broke my wrist. Like, that's not easy. A lot of respect for the hockey players now after trying it a couple times.
Yeah.
But because our sport here in Indiana is basketball. Like, there's no hockey around here. It's all basketball.
Okay. Yeah, we're all hockey here.
Right.
So.
Right. That's the traditional Canadian sport, man. But the hockey stick curve on your graph on your business, man, that's just a beautiful thing to see. You can ramp up so quickly. How many products are you guys selling? How many replens do you have, would you say?
Right now we have 136 active listings, and about 60 sell pretty consistently.
That's good.
And then of those, maybe 15 are top sellers where we make most of our profit on, but there's about 60 replens that we replenish consistently.
That's awesome. Hey, super short interruption before we get back to the content. I just wanted to let you know about a really cool deal that our friends at Helium 10 have put together, helium10.com, discount code SSMR, as in Silent Sales Machine Radio. 50% off your first month on a robust suite of tools used by over 1 million Amazon sellers around the world. Go check it out. Many users in our community swear by Helium 10. I love the data that they put out. They've put a lot of time and energy into creating a robust suite of tools that can really help you with your business, making good decisions on what to buy. Helium10.com, discount code SSMR.
About 60 sell pretty consistently.
That's good.
And then of those, maybe 15 are top sellers where we make most of our profit on, but there's about 60 replens that we replenish consistently.
That's awesome. Yeah, the 80-20 rule definitely applies. I love you just nailed it. You got 60 products selling pretty consistently, about 15 of them money makers. That's always going to be the rule. The Pareto principle, 80-20, right? About 20% of your products at any given time are going to be the ones making you about 80% of your money. The other 80% make you that of your products, make you that other 20% of your money, but you love those too. That's your long-term stability. But keep on those 20%. And when you find those golden nuggets, man, you stay on them. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Well, what else? I'm going to be plugging in my laptop here, so don't be distracted. But what else can you tell us about your story that you think new sellers might want to hear? Like, what lessons did you learn, or what surprises did you have? Just kind of, what would you like to share?
We had a very interesting surprise, honestly. And that was in November. Towards the end of November, we have applied for selling in groceries. And we were still waiting for a request. It was, I don't know, maybe a week in from our request. And then we got a notification that tomorrow restrictions would start for essential items only in stores. I don't know if you've had that in
with
the
COVID.
States.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, essential items only, and they can you run?
Yeah.
Someone at the door, sorry.
Life happens. You know, sometimes for those who aren't watching the video, the doorbell's ringing and you know, so Heidi's stepping away from it. There's episodes where my dog busts in the door or a kid busts in, my wife has a quick question. This is real life, people, right?
Yeah, this is life.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we got the news that tomorrow it would start essential items only, which is pretty much only food and toilet paper and maybe diapers. They taped off all the clothing, toys, tools. We couldn't buy any of that in store, only online. And the same day as those restrictions came in, we got the approval to sell in groceries. So we could still go in the stores. And for us, that's definitely an answered prayer because we pray a lot for our business. We take it daily. We take it serious.
Yes.
Yeah. And God cares.
So you guys, because it's a business, you guys were able to continue buying. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And because now we were approved in groceries, we could buy those essential items.
Yeah, I could go in stores, still in store for all the groceries, and then I had to convert to online shopping for all the non-essential things.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That was probably one of the biggest.
God just opened up that door, huh? Yeah. I made a post. I make posts frequently. Oftentimes it's on Sundays, but I pray for this community, for the people who are out there, because I think as people who are trying to build a business, there are a lot of things working against us culturally, and we're kind of misunderstood. And the average person on the street, a good number of them, see any kind of success in business as lacking virtue somehow. And so there's a lot of cultural forces that we're fighting against. And I believe even to a large degree, spiritual forces. They don't want us to succeed. They don't want families to succeed. Families are under attack. Small businesses are under attack culturally and spiritually. So finding a community where those kind of things are lifted up and supported and encouraged and prayed for. And I try to make posts frequently, and I do pray frequently for this community, the listeners of this podcast, the people in our Facebook group, the good people who are going to be in Tampa with us here in about a month or so as we're recording this. I know you guys are hoping to make it, you'd said before we started.
We hope so.
But Canada may or may not let you, right?
Yeah.
I think flying, they will let us. It's just driving, but we would have to see.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be great to have you guys there and meet your 4-year-old. We didn't get his name, by the way. What's his name?
Manuel.
Manuel?
Manuel.
Manuel. I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful name. God is with us, Emmanuel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. I love it. So, okay, what else from your story, guys? What else can we share with the listeners today? Maybe some tips or some strategies or encouragement, anything that was on your mind that you were hoping to share today?
It's definitely worth hiring a repricer. That's what we can say.
Yeah.
We started ours on the 1st of May, and our sales
skyrocketed.
Almost, 150%. Our sales went up. From April, it was $16,000 in sales, and in May, it's $26,500 in sales.
Wow, that's great. And we didn't get your ROI and margin, like on that $26,000 a month. Do you happen to know?
Yes, the ROI is 44%, and the profit margin was 16%. It was a bit lower for May because we also used the repricer to get rid of the inventory that's been sitting for a while.
Sure.
So to break even or have a smaller profit, but it was around 19 to 22% before that.
Beautiful. Those are great numbers for a small business. And coming from an entrepreneurial families, you guys understand that the numbers are very important. That's what makes or breaks where you go next. And you guys have built a beautiful business. Well,
Yeah.
if there's anything else you want to share, I want to keep that on the table. But also, what are your next steps for growth from here? Do you guys plan to hire more? Sounds to me like you should hire a shopper / packer in Toronto. It sounds like there's some opportunity there for you guys.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure we need someone to take at least one shopping trip off of my hands. So like we're still figuring out. We don't know for sure what's the best move to do, because my sister can't keep on packing because she still has a year of school to do starting September. So we're left with doing everything again. So yeah, we need like a good move. What's the next good move for us?
Yeah, you need to hire people. You know, the episode that we did with Josh Rojas, it's about 15 or 20 episodes before this one, I'm kind of guessing, but he's hired local friends, neighbors, people he got to know, people, conversations that he struck up while his child was playing at the park, kind of people, and said, hey, do you want to make a little extra money? Flexible, try out this new gig of just, putting stuff in a box. I need someone to help and I can train you pretty quick. People out there who are looking for a little extra money, single moms, so they can be home more and quit one of their 3 part-time jobs kind of thing. Those people are everywhere. So that's part of the beauty of being an entrepreneur is I actually just recorded another episode earlier today about, we're called to lead and to serve as entrepreneurs. And that's going to mean including other people. But the beauty of it is we're not just including other people as a gift to them. They're helping us grow so we can include even more people. So the next step is adding more people to your team for sure. And it's going to take a little leap of faith, and there's going to be some people that maybe don't turn out as good as you thought they might be, but that's the journey.
Yeah, we've been talking about that a lot lately, about hiring somebody, how we would go about the process. But I've heard it being said often already. The first employee is the hardest to hire, or
yeah, they are. And you want one that brings money in too. You want someone that you teach that first hire. And this is actually Dave Ramsey advice. You mentioned Dave earlier. He's the one I learned his book, Entree Leadership. He drives this point home in that book, if I recall right, is your first hire isn't someone that does all the stuff you don't want to do. It's someone who goes out and kills the bear and drags it to the cave, just like you do every day. You got to get out there and do the work. And here's how it works. That's your ideal first hire. So they're bringing in new revenue. They are a net plus to the operation. So to me, it sounds to me like there's a lot of opportunity in Toronto. You guys were there for a couple of weeks and made a killing. So, find someone there, a friend of a friend, a family connection, someone you can trust for a season and train them over Zoom, give them the proven Amazon course and get them rocking. Right. And with the agreement being they work for and with you. But they may go on and do it themselves someday. That's fine too. You can be very open-handed about it. That next right person will come along as it's needed. But you guys have a lot of advantages for anyone who'd be coming in brand new, because you've got ungated in a lot of categories. You have access to the tools and you know how these different things work. So I think you'll be able to find someone. I think it's going to be easier than you realize.
I think so too. I think we just have to take that step because we'd like to have someone. I want to teach them how to source, first of all, and then do some shopping for us. And then the packing is easy, like 2 times, and then they're good to go. Like 2 days. Yeah.
That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have one other question I'm going to ask you guys, and whichever one of you wants to take it can. And it's going to be, if you had to explain the replens business model in a minute or so, how would you explain it? So we're going to end with that. But before we do that, I just want to hear if there's anything else that's on your guys' mind, because I'd like to give you, this is my 3rd chance now of throwing it at you. Like, what else would you tell new listeners? And it's okay if you kind of feel like you've shared everything that's on your hearts, but I'd love to hear anything else you guys want to throw on the table for those who are listening to today's episode.
I think you just have to start. That's the most important thing. Like for me, I was very hesitant. At first, I told him, you go, you try it out. If it works, I'll jump in. And now I love it. I think you just have to start and keep on going. It doesn't matter how maybe slow it's growing at the beginning, but at least it's growing. Like, do 1 shipment if you can. If you can, do more. We had Q4, we did 3 shipments a week. And now we went back to 2 shipments because it's a little bit more manageable for us. But just do it.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
It's definitely, I think earlier today you made that post on probably the My Silent Team group.
Yes.
About, and then the comment or the caption was, who's your biggest competitor? Mm-hmm. And it's your mindset, right?
Yes.
And that's, I think, ultimately what it comes down to. It's not the next person selling on the listing or who wants to start selling on Amazon. I don't think they're your biggest competitor. I think it's your mindset. It's in your own head, right?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It's because the opportunity is so expansive, meaning there's room for tens of thousands more people doing exactly what we do before we ever start to feel a tiny impact if you're doing it the right way. Because the whole world is shopping online now. So if you think competition are those other sellers on Amazon, you're not thinking clearly about this thing. And I love that you shared, Heidi, you'll go stand in an aisle for a couple hours. And this kind of sets up our last question. Like, what is this model, this replens model? Explain it to me. I always like hearing students explain it in their own words. This crazy thing called replens. What is it?
Well, the word almost says it itself. It's something you can replenish over and over and over again. It doesn't have to be something that the same person buys once or twice a month or even once a year. It can be something a person only buys once in a lifetime, right? And we sell many of those things a person probably only buys once a lifetime, but a lot of people buy it, so we can replenish it over and over again, almost every week sometimes to keep on selling it, because that's a new trend right now, or that's what people like right now. That's the season we're in right now. And
it's also not something that we don't buy anything that's on clearance or sale. I grab something sometimes or grab extras if it's on sale, but I grab something that is regular priced. So I can always just go into a store and just grab it.
It's easily sourced and it sells at a repeatable at a easily predictable pace, right?
Oh yeah.
Easily sourced, predictable pace. It reminds me, I don't know if I've ever made this connection or not. I may have in private conversations. I don't know if I did on the podcast or not, but one of the businesses that I used to do when my oldest, now 24-year-old, was maybe 3 or 4, I had, so this is 20 plus years ago, I had a vending machine route, gumball machines, candy machines. Oh, wow. And you'd set up one of those machines and say like a laundromat or, a hair salon or something with the permission of the owner. And it was crazy how predictable that product was. Meaning if you went back exactly 30 days, you would have within $1 the exact amount of money in that machine month after month after month. It's like, it's all different random people walking past this machine. But the law of averages over time, you're getting pretty much the same thing every month. Well, that's what these replen products are. Like, we know we're going to sell between 10 and 20 of this product pretty much every month. We can look at the data and we look into the past using Keepa, and we can say, oh, we'll just play it forward, assuming nothing changes. Now, if 30 new sellers come in, well, that changes it. Or if the price, if the product becomes obsolete, well, that changes, obviously. But you can see these patterns. So we're looking for this stability, right? It's a very stable, predictable, almost boring business model. And you guys did a great job describing it. Thank you for that. I always like to hear different, since this is the business you're in, hey, what's your description? So, well, this is great, guys. It's been really good getting to know you. I really hope Canada opens up in time that you guys can come down and bring Emmanuel.
Yeah, we hope so.
Hang out in Tampa. There's going to be a lot of families in Tampa and a lot of people bringing their kids and hanging out. It's a nice place to just kind of come a few days early, stay a few days late. Theprovenconference.com is the event, but we'd love to see you guys there.
Yeah,
we would love to be
crossing our fingers. We'll do everything we can.
Yeah, it would be awesome if you can. But if not, we'll do it again once the world is kind of back to normal, hopefully again in the next year. So the worst case scenario is we'll meet you about a year from now. But it's really great hanging out with you guys. Anything else to throw at the listeners before we close up? Because I'm going to talk to the listeners here for just a moment as we start to wrap this one up.
We're trying something new to us since about a month now. And that is when we're sending in a shipment when we've selected all the items we're replenishing, and Amazon asks us for the box content information, which items we put into which box. About a month ago, we started to use the feature or the option of skipping box content information, which costs us about 11 cents a product.
Right.
In Amazon fees more. But in our experience, Amazon checks in way more accurate amounts.
They don't miss product.
They don't miss as many products.
Great tip. Now, I don't know if there's enough data and science behind them checking it in faster and more accurately. But I'm starting to hear some people saying that, though. But I'm not quite ready to sign off on that. But I am definitely ready to sign off on skipping the box content step. For those of you who are doing it, give it a shot. Between 10 and 20 cents an item, approximately, you're going to save yourself a whole lot of time. And as long as your boxes still weigh less than 50 pounds, someone's going to take them.
Yeah, that was the main reason why we started it, saving time, because we just thought it takes so much time. It has to be simpler somehow.
Yeah.
That's a great tip.
And those, for us, it's 11 cents a product. It's definitely worth it. Mm-hmm. And then in our experience, they miss maybe 1 to 2 items in a 160 unit shipment. And previously it was 5 to 10.
Yeah.
So sometimes those products make up even for what you pay for the check-in of Amazon, right?
Oh, absolutely. If those numbers are playing out over time and you're seeing that, and that's a great tip for everyone else as well. And if you want to discuss this in the Facebook group for the listeners who are listening to this thing, what are they talking about? Hey, we'll be happy to dive in deeper with you. And that's a great place to get in front of 65,000 other e-commerce Amazon sellers and ask your questions. People from all over the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, free access to some of the smartest people on the planet who are making a living on Amazon. So that's a great place to kick around topics like that. But that's a great real world actionable tip to leave everybody with. I don't think we've had that one come up on the show before, but that's a great tip. I appreciate that.
And one more thing for the listeners, jump on Clubhouse. It's amazing.
Yeah, we listen every time. Just don't have the courage to talk.
That, you know what? I don't think I've talked about Clubhouse much on the podcast. Thanks for opening that door. Yeah, we've just started doing that in the past couple months. We're trying to do it a couple times a week. And the best way for me to describe the free Clubhouse app is this. Let's see if this makes sense to you guys as I describe it this way. But it's like listening to a call-in radio talk show, but you can jump on stage anytime you want and be one of the people that's presenting. You can ask your question live. So it's kind of like a call-in show where the host is bringing anybody up onto the stage and they can have a conversation and they go back into the audience. And but we do it very specifically about 2 things: growing your Amazon business, your e-commerce questions, and applying biblical wisdom to business questions and business challenges. And it's been really fun so far. So thanks for the shout out on that. I'll stick a link for sure in the show notes today. I think possibly for the first time ever about us doing that, because we've had 50, 60 people at a time jumping in there, having conversations with us, and it's been a real blast. So thanks for that.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. It's amazing.
That's great. I love to hear you guys are jumping in there. Well, I'm going to talk to the listeners for just a minute then as we wrap this one up. It's been great having you guys on the show with us today. And thank you to the listeners for giving us a little bit of your valuable time. Hopefully you got a lot of great tips and strategies out of this. But I just can't believe I get to do this for a living. The main thing I want to say is hanging out with great people, learning new lessons, hearing their success stories. It's always a pleasure for me. And man, I sure hope you guys get to come to Tampa, and the listeners too. I would love for you guys to join us, theprovenconference.com. If we aren't past July 12th of 2021 yet, come join us. We'd love to have you there. Get your details on that website. But Heidi and Thaddeus, you guys were awesome guests. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you.
And to the listeners, God bless you, all the business building warriors out there. We're praying for you. We believe in you. We're in your corner. We want you to succeed. We do not see you as competitors, like they pointed out today. This isn't a community of competitors. This is a community of people supporting each other, believing in each other, encouraging each other, giving each other tips and strategies to grow. That's what you're a part of if you jump into this community. Get into our Facebook group if you're not there yet. There's a link at silentjim.com. It's free. 65,000 people hanging out doing what we just talked about. So we'll have another great episode for you again real soon. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Hey, before we go, just a quick thing. I wanted to remind you that Helium 10 has become a great sponsor of this show. They've got an offer exclusive for the audience, the listeners, the business building warriors of this community. If you go to helium10.com and use the discount code SSMR, as in Silent Sales Machine Radio, you get the tool that's being used by over 1 million Amazon sellers at this point. They're actively tracking over 2 billion different products on Amazon at any given time, providing data and helping you make good decisions on what products you should and shouldn't sell, as well as an entire suite of products that help you run your entire Amazon business instead of piecing it together a little bit from here, a little bit from there. It's a great tool. Many, many coaches on our team use it, the content creators. I know that Nathan, our coaching director, swears by it as well. So we were very excited to bring them on as a sponsor. Again, Helium 10, discount code SSMR, and they'll take good care of you. Hey, God bless you, business building warrior.